Hi guys, welcome to today's video. I took a holiday last week to the Lake District, and on the way back I popped into Chester to look at one of the UK's major model centres, Chester Model Centre, in the beautiful city of Chester in Cheshire. So come with me as I take you on a guided tour around the shop and have a look at what they had to offer. So Chester Model Centre is located in the lovely city of Chester, which is in the county of Cheshire in the northwest of England, sort of close to the Welsh border near Wrexham and Liverpool, so easy to access, but a little tricky if you're going by train, although it does have a major train station. Here it is the address is 71 to 73 Bridge Street in Chester, and here I am just on the junction of Bridge Street, just showing you what it looks like. There's plenty of ample parking, and you go up a set of stairs. And it's on the second floor. So here I go as I enter the shop. It's on 2 floors and there's plenty for all sorts, modelers as well as diecast and all sorts of trains, which we'll get to a little bit later. So of course naturally I'm going to the top floor to have a look at the diecast, and my word, there is a plentiful amount there for all to see. So it's over 2 aisles. Here's the main aisle of diecast, with the main sort of corgi collection as such, and the larger aircraft on the top shelf. Let's start on the first base. So here we are, more of the more recent releases, including the 2 ME109s, you know, pretty much at RRP, but some of the stuff was discounted. There's the ME410 and Jaguar, and the latest Meteor, and then a collection of the TR9s and a couple of the old Model Zone BBMF aircraft, this one being the Hurricane, and reasonably priced. I think that was 25 quid. Then we've got a few helicopters, including the latest Tiger Meat Puma, and on that bottom shelf we've got some interwar biplanes, the Israeli Mosquito set, and then we've got some of the nose art collection as well. Some on the bottom there is a few bases more for sort of Gemini jets, and the 144s there as well. So we're on to the second bay. On the top you see some of the 132 ME109s, which, speaking to Paul the manager, he said, you know, seem to be struggling to sell. Then a collection of some of the older corgis, but we do have obviously the 2 B26 Marauders and the Desert Beaufort and a couple of classic B25s. Then we're on to the bottom shelf. That Focke-Wulf is quite a rare breed. It was priced at only 25 quid. And then we're on to some P40s, some more Focke-Wulfs, and some lovely Skymax Thunderjets. They had 3 Skymax Tempest 5s as well, with the silver one underneath there. A 144 F16, which I'd never seen that brand before. We also had on that shelf there some Oxford and the first of the Franklin Mints, but we'll see some more as we go along. So I want the Bay 3, a couple of the 144 range up there. I just went back to this Dragon Stuka. Very rarely do you see that now. Michael Lowe's favourite, of course, some World War I stuff, including lots of triplanes. Then we're on to relatively recent releases, including the B25 and the P38 Putt Maroon. Then we've got some of the Warbirds range, Typhoon there as well. Then some lovely Dragon stuff. Keep an eye on the white Focke-Wulf there, because that might end up coming home with me, that one. Then some classics on the bottom there, including the Merlin's over Malta set, which is hard to find. And then we're on to the Oxford range. Quite a bit of Oxford left. A little bit of a chat with Paul actually around that, which I'll elaborate on later. Then some lovely Catalinas. The Midway one's hard to find. Bristol Fighter or 2 there as well. Then we've got a lovely selection of Luftwaffe birds, including the Night Fighter Junkers Ju-88, and then onto the Hobbymaster stuff. So lots of T6s there, some Witty Wing Sea Furies, some P39s as well by Hobbymaster, which are great models. More Dragon there, including a lovely Hellcat, a Black Widow by Air Force One, and an A20, which is a Night RAF one, and an A26 Korean Invader as well. Then a lot of 144s, including Dakotas, the lovely Malaysian Beaufighter as well. What a model that is. And of course some more of the lovely blue boxed Oxford Aviation stuff, which is now becoming, well, not hard to find. It's still plentiful, but it's not particularly selling. So on to the final bay in this aisle, and this included all the Franklin Mint 148 stuff, which was obviously prevalent in Model Zone in the Model Zone days. And then the Hobbymaster stuff. So we had a lovely MiG-31 Foxbat there. There was an Aardvark, an F-11 Aardvark, sorry, a beautiful Sky Raider as well. There was a couple of Phantoms, There was all sorts in the MiG-21s, plenty of Starfighters. They're again pretty much at RRP, and then some lovely World War II stuff, including Avengers and Devastators, Hellcat, the 148-0, and then a selection of of Century wings, should I say. These were priced at about 120 quid, but I think that's pretty good in terms of Century wings. Obviously, now defunct Century wings, and a big selection of Falcon models as well at the end, including the Fires of the Storches and the Sabre Dogs, and a couple of Mirages as well. Great collections. We've got a lot of the hard stand bases there, which are really good for if you want to picture and display models, as well as a selection of Dragon jets. Right, into the second aisle now, and this is mainly the 172 larger aircraft, including Royal Flush and a couple of recent B-17s, as well as a selection of lovely Ju-52s, including the limited edition IWC one now. And then we're into some more 144 scale, including a couple of very rare VC-10s, which offer quite a pretty penny nowadays. And then on the bottom shelf, some more 144 stuff, including the Royal Aircraft Establishment and a couple of the boxed
I do like Beetle taxis
aircraft with wheels down, including the Constellations. Of course, these guys don't just specialise in models. They had a fantastic selection of aviation-related books. I think it's part and parcel of buying collections as a whole that come with them. Fantastic model ship up there on the top as well, which is all for sale, this, so just have to ask the prices on them. But loads and loads of bits and pieces, including the Air Combat magazine range. There's a couple of great books I was going to get, but like everything, I had a limited budget and could have spent all day in there. But lots to offer in this shop. This is, like I said, if you're a code freer as well, loads of bits. And then we're into some more larger aircraft, including the last Blackjack, a selection of Catalinas and a couple of B-24s. Then we're into the Corgi aircraft. Corgi cars. Lots of Corgi cars there as well. And then you've also got other collectibles, including Star Wars, Doctor Who. There was Beatles stuff there, and all bits and pieces. It's just such a huge range. Like I said, you need to put a nice period of time aside to come in there and explore, because there's lots going on. And of course, some more 132 stuff on the bottom there, including some Hurricanes and ME-109s. And of course, my first ever model from the Model Zone days, Jumping Jacks in 132, and of course, Big Beautiful Doll. And the Pacific Theatre 132 one. And then we're into some more 148s, including the most recent Phantom, Lightning and Typhoon releases, a couple of Canberras, the Tornado and the Mosquito. And then we're into some of the civil stuff in 1400 and 1200, which sells very, very. And then a whole host of other bits and pieces, including Corgi cars, the Vanguard's range, some limited edition stuff with the Coca-Cola. Lovely Formula 1 set there of all the Ferrari cars over the year as well, which I was looking at. Just lots of bits and pieces. I mean, like I said, more Corgi stuff here, which sells great for these guys. They're just quick, easy pick-up pieces. We've got some Oxford cars as well. Now a little display cabinet, and this includes some of the trains and a few sort of models that have been made up. I mean, the prices of trains has gone through the roof. I'm sure that's affecting the hobby.
It did, but
a few more aircraft up there on the top. I'm guessing they just run out of room, and of course lots more model cars. And train memorabilia as well. This is a lot of stuff to make your own terrains, and if you're into your sort of dioramas and whatnot, and around your train sets. But there is bits and pieces for everybody, and there's a little cabinet there, which is a bit of a display centre for any of the Corgi stuff, so you can sort of see it out the box rather than have to open it up. Lots of bargain bins as well, to pick your bits and pieces up. There was just things galore in here as well. It's a busy little shop, which I was really pleased to see. We went on a Saturday afternoon to see the place was buzzing with lots of people in and around it. It was great to see, because these model shops are few and far between now in the United Kingdom, and we are not lucky enough to have many around us in the southeast or London. Pretty much the only diecast we can get is from the RAF Museum or Hamleys in central London. There is nothing around our way, so it's lovely to be able to go in and touch and feel stuff. But again, lots of trains covered. Back onto the Hornby stuff. Hornby absolutely everywhere. It's there's the Thomas the Tank Engine stuff for Hornby as well, and had a funny chat around when my boy was young. We bought some Hornby stuff for his track, and somebody must have fine-tuned one of the Thomas engines to go super quick. and it literally went 4 times as quick as any other train on the track, which was a bit chaotic, let us say. But lots of stuff. I mean, the range, bear in mind, Hornby are pumping these out at a rate, probably more than the Airfix and Corgi range. Here I'm downstairs now. I'm looking at all the colours, so there's everything. So if you're doing your code threes, loads of Tamiya colours, literally every colour you can possibly. And in terms of availability, brilliant as well. Of course, all the Humbrol stuff, which is great to see as well. If, like I said, if you're into your model making or your code freeing, as I have been, then it's sort of heaven. Of course, I like using this brand, MIG Ammo, brilliant for spraying straight out the bottle, nice and easy to apply as well. And of course, all your bits and bobs like your tape, and measuring, and God knows what else, thinners, and it's just heaven. And of course, I'm popping over to have a look at all the Tamiya accessories as well that you can use for your model making. And then I had a quick brief look at the Airfix, a great range of Airfix aircraft on offer, including 172, 148 and 132. And of course, all the other major model brands as well, including Hella, Tamiya, Revel, all sorts of stuff, Taglieri there as well. There is so many types of models, but I think it's great to see this sort of amount of gear on display for people to come in and purchase. And of course, some of the models that have been made as well to display what you can make out of them as well. But of course, it don't just stop at aircraft. You've got lots of other dioramas, vehicles, trains, military, including tanks, figurines, and all sorts. So there's a lot there for the discerning scale modeler, let us say. But really, really great to see a busy shop on a Saturday afternoon. And of course, naturally, I had to partake in this and buy some. So, of course, what did I buy, you ask? Well, this is the little collection. So we start with this one. So I bought the Hobbymaster P39Q Aerocobra. This one representing Devastating Devil. I do have this in the collection at home, but mine are damaged undercarriage, which I bought many years ago at an air show. So I thought, you know what, let's pick it up, review it, and put it on the page. This one, probably the most controversial release out of the lot, and of course, sorry, I paid £30 for that. This one here is the Australian Canberra, and I paid 75 quid for it. And if anybody's seen the more recent Canberra, it's priced at around about 160 quid. So not really one I wanted. Anybody who'd been watching the page would have seen I wouldn't have been going for this. But I bought it to review because, again, it's about the good and the bad, and looking at and reflecting on what they did in terms of getting this very wrong. A very highly anticipated release announced at RIAT in 2024, I believe, and it just didn't hit the spot. But we'll get to that when we review it on the page. The final one, which I think for me is the star of the show, is this one here, and this is Focke-Wulf black double chevron and bars of JG54 Commander, Eastern Front 1942. I love the Dragon range, as you all know. I can't wait to review that. So of course, all three of these will be reviewed on the page over the coming weeks, so please pay attention and have a little look. So, thanks for watching the video, guys. Just want to say a massive thank you to Paul and the team in Cheshire Model Centre, who made me feel incredibly welcome. Also, massive thanks to Phil the Train and Phil the Plane, the two Phils who work there. Really knowledgeable guys. Like I said, really welcoming, and it's great to see a model shop doing so well in this current climate. Paul did mention that they're a little low actually on die-cast aircraft at the moment, which is a surprise because there was plentiful amount on offer. So they're looking to buy collection. So it is something that if you do want to sell collection, Paul and his team would potentially be interested in it as well. But really great collection of aircraft. I think most of them were reasonably priced. There was a few which were probably a little bit on the high side, but that's, it's to and fro. But then, as you've seen with the ones that I bought, as far as I'm concerned, 3 of those were really reasonably priced. If not, in the case of the Canberra, I think pretty cheap, to be honest, at 75 quid. Maybe one I won't keep in the collection, maybe sell on potentially, but I think it'd be good for review on the page. But look, guys, if you are in the Northwest, it's probably about half an hour outside of Liverpool. It's not far from Shrewsbury or Wrexham in the Welsh border, of course. And if you are going on holiday up north, it's nice. Chester is a beautiful city to pop into on the way back. Lots on offer, some great food, and a lovely day out. So, in the sunshine in particular, as we were, We were really lucky with the weather, and it was lovely to pop into a very vibrant and busy city. The only thing I would say, there is a car park nearby, and it's not for the faint of hearted. It's the only multi-story I've ever been in, and I've been terrified coming down it. And after driving through the Lake District, that says a lot. But look, there's loads of parking in and around Chester, so don't be afraid to pop in at all. Look, thanks again for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you again soon.